So where's the office? Back at division?
In the office, baby. Going out.
What's up, Buckeye Nation? You're tuned in to the Buckeye Cast.
Sets, fires, touchdown, Garrett Wilson. Wow! In the end zone. Oh, what a catch! Jeremy Rucker, give me that! Fields to throw, steps up, delivers deep down the field. He's got a receiver. Olave, touchdown, Buckeyes!
Now here's your host, Joe Warwick.
The Ohio State Buckeyes.
What is up? This is Joe. Just wanted to give you a quick little intro to this episode. Jeff is going to show up like around the middle of it, so it's just starting off with me and Sean. As always, folks, please hit the supply store, thebuckeyecast.com. Have some awesome new shirt designs. We're also on Etsy. Yeah, you don't know what Etsy is? Ask the woman in your life. She'll tell you what Etsy is, and she'll probably buy something for you there. Also, as always, this is the only commercial-free Ohio State football podcast. Please rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. Recommend us to a friend. Really appreciate it. Here's the show. What is up? We are back. We are back, baby. It's been a while. I know. I'm sorry. A couple months. We needed to take a little break. Our MVP was MIA, and so we want to welcome Sean back. Good to have you back, Sean.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Yeah. Jeff supposedly will be joining us shortly, but I'll let you know when I believe that. Sean won't take me up on an even odds bet, so we'll see.
It'll be here, folks.
All right. Sean tells me he hasn't had a drink in. When's the last time you had a snap of bourbon?
March 1st.
March 1st. Wow. So long ago. And he's not, he doesn't have one scheduled. So we'll be skipping right through the bourbon talk because nobody wants to hear me just talking about bourbon to myself.
Well, let's try something unique.
Oh, unique?
Yeah.
Not really. I haven't really had anything new.
Just hunkering down with the old standbys.
Yeah, I've been getting lucky at the local ABC. I figured out when their trucks come in Thursday mornings, and they occasionally will bring in either a bottle or two of Weller or Buffalo Trace. So I go over about 10:30, 11 a.m., something like that. And I say, hey, what you got behind the counter? And been scoring the last 3-4 weeks in a row. So looking to keep that hot streak alive.
What do you mean? What do you got behind the counter? So they're not even displaying that stuff? You got to ask for it?
Yeah, it's not on the shelf. They get like just a few bottles. And you have to be part of their gold key, gold membership. So I'm like, got it figured out, and apparently I'm beating everybody else to the punch. So that's key.
There you go.
Yeah. So Sean, I do want to get your take on. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I almost forgot that you were there. We're going to talk spring position battles and things like that. We won't get into it too deep just yet. Maybe next show. But this week we just want to talk about the position groups as a whole and who we like coming out of those. Anyway, Sean, I wanted to ask you, have you heard anything about Justin Fields' draft status?
I try not to follow it.
Is it a
but it is a topic, it seems, and it's all over the place. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, and you read I've read so many different stories about it, and the curse of the Ohio State quarterbacks and blah, blah, blah. Justin Fields has changed all that in my mind. This dude's going to light it up.
Yeah.
And I also claim Joe Burrow as a Buckeye quarterback, so
nice.
piss off. We've already busted that curse.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, Haskins, I think a lot of talking heads like to use Haskins because, first of all, he left college a season too soon, and the coaches will tell you that, not in so many words, but they'll say it if you read between the lines. Ryan Day has said that, and he said that they were surprised that Haskins left when he did after his big 2018 season, 50 touchdowns, by the way. So yeah, the big thing going to Fields.
Let me just butt in real quick. I'm not giving up on Haskins either. I think those things are true, but I still, that kid he could make all the throws, and hopefully that game will slow down for him, and he can get into he's at Pittsburgh now. Big Ben couldn't move back there. Haskins isn't great at moving, but he's got a cannon like Ben, and maybe this is the spot where he can excel. I don't think he's ever going to be the GOAT, but I think Haskins, if he can pull it together, can be a decent quarterback in that league. There.
Yeah. Well, from everything that Buckeye coaches, and more so insiders in the Ohio State program, not really coaches, I guess, and then, of course, people at Washington, the football team, Washington, have said that maturity was a big issue with Haskins, and that seemed pretty obvious.
Right.
When he's he's getting taking selfies on the sidelines while somebody else has to go in and take the final snack of the game, things like that. Pretty obvious. That's why I believe the coaches were surprised at Ohio State that he left so early. He definitely was not ready. Urban Meyer even went on a ton of talk shows, Colin Cowherd and shit, and said that he needs a year to sit at a program, and he needs a stable program, which obviously the football team of Washington is not, and probably won't be.
Their name's not even stable year to year. I mean,
exactly.
That's the organization.
Right. So, what did you take from this Orlovsky back and forth where he makes these comments on Pat McAfee's show about Fields, and then has to backtrack it because Herbie calls him out. Thank you, Herbie, for finally showing your scarlet and gray Buckeye card.
Orlovsky said he was getting that from inside the Buckeye program. Is that what he was claiming?
No. He said he heard from others, and he's saying these were NFL types.
Well,
I
think after looking at his pro day, I just don't see how that's the narrative. I mean, he looked amazing in the pro day. His speed, his throwing, everything. And so, I don't know, it does make you wonder if, hey, it's all a big game.
Yeah.
If some of these NFL programs are, starting rumors that they're way down on this guy and, trying to hope that he falls to, the mid-teens. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be a classic smokescreen. I mean, this is the silly season where guys get run down and talk shit about.
But a lot of people drop like that. What was it, DK Metcalf? What did he get, second round?
Yeah.
Or something? And
But you had to hear the who was it? Was it McShay? Somebody said that there was an NFL scout. Of course, nobody names names. That's my first issue with all of these comments.
If you can't name your source, then it's fucking fake news.
Yeah, exactly. And you shouldn't be repeating the opinions of morons. Number two. But anyways, the big deal was, what was I going to say? A scout told one of these talking heads on ESPN that Fields was a 4th rounder. That's a fucking... Yeah. Are you fucking serious right now? That's fucking disgusting.
Rounder. The only might end up to only be as valuable as a 4th rounder, but a guy like Fields, you never know when you're first round quarterbacks, but he's worth taking a chance.
Yeah.
I would, if I had a team, I'd take Fields.
For sure. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I could go on and on about that shit, but nice to see Herbie come to the rescue.
I still think in my mind, and maybe I'm delusional.
Very possible.
I think Herb could still take Fields 1 overall.
Oh, that's a stretch there.
Why?
Well, Lawrence has been, I guess, kind of given the Andrew Luck treatment, where he's a can't-miss generational, once-in-a-generation prospect, and apparently we haven't seen that from Fields. I'd listen to the argument, but I don't know if you're going to get too many people biting on that one.
I don't know. Herb's quite the guy too that could do something like that. Look, he already knows Justin Fields. He wasn't his coach,
right?
But Herb was still around that program, and yeah. I think Herb has to know this kid pretty well.
Somewhat, yeah, I agree. Yeah, but Ryan Day's the one that brought Fields in, because Ryan Fields wanted to play in that offense to get to the league.
But you got Herb's going to run his quarterback some in the pros. He doesn't know anything other than running his quarterback.
Yeah. Lawrence is bigger. Definitely not faster.
Definitely not faster, and not that much bigger.
Yeah, I mean, arm strength, I don't know if I could compare the two. They seem pretty equal to me.
Yeah, I think they both got great arms.
I would venture to guess Fields has had better quarterback tutelage with Ryan Day. I don't know who Clemson's quarterback coach is, but I can't name him, so that means it's probably nobody of note. But I'm sure Lawrence has his own, personal trainer as well, whether it's Quincy Avery or somebody like that.
Time will tell who will be the better NFL quarterback. But if Herb knows that, hey, I can get this, and I know what this is, because I've been around Ohio State for 2 years, and I know what I'm going to get with. I mean, you don't know the other kid, other than he's a hell of a player. I mean, I'm not taking nothing away from that kid, but
well, like we just talked about with Haskins, it's about situation. Can a talented quarterback get in a good situation? I can't sit here and say that Herb's situation is better than where Fields might end up, because we've never seen Herb be an NFL coach. Could be a train wreck, no matter who the quarterback is.
True.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see how things shake out. But Fields is doing another pro day. Ohio State's having another pro day on the 14th this month. I know Sean Wade's going to work out at that one. He didn't at the last. And you probably have some other guys sprinkled in there, maybe some guys that didn't get to work out last year and are like undrafted free agents or whatever.
I saw, wasn't there Johnny Dixon and somebody else from a few years ago?
Yeah, BB Landers. Yeah.
Come on, baby, pull it together, bro.
Yeah, let's try. But so let's get into spring football. We're a few weeks in already, and we got about a week and a half to go. Injuries seem to be the highlight to me. Injuries and position changes, I guess. So yeah, especially on the defensive side of the ball, injuries seem to be kind of dominating in that secondary. Nothing major, I guess, but things that are holding guys back at least. So Ryan Day's message in every press conference he's done has been really they just need to play more football. They need to get as many reps in practice as they can. Because if you think about it, this is the first spring for the second-year players. They had like 2 or 3 spring practices last year before the Big Ten shut everything down. So the guys that are now second-year players haven't had a spring. This is their first spring. I mean, they got some practice during the 8-game season, but not much. So that's a big deal. And Ryan Day's really been emphasizing the need to get guys better, faster, sooner. They really have to accelerate that learning curve.
Yeah, I mean, it is huge. I guess not everybody's in the same boat, but the Big Ten's pretty much all in the same boat.
True.
When it comes to that.
Yeah.
We'll be fine there, but yeah, you need the reps and you need the guys to stay healthy because you don't have the even the guys you're going to put out there that are going to start. They need the reps. You can't just get the young guys the reps. The other guys, I mean, you got some guys that have been in the program, Mitchell and Gant, who's now hurt and missing practice.
Yeah.
And these guys have been in the program a long time, but they haven't played a whole lot of football for Ohio State.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, at least you can say the injuries are, I guess, kind of a good thing because they get younger guys more reps, but in the long run, I think that might not be great for the guys that we need to see on the field. Especially, let's lead right into our first position, quarterback, Sean. This is obviously the premier position. It's the only one that really matters. So we got what I see. You can tell me if I'm crazy, but I see this as a 2-man race, and it seems to be pretty tight right now.
Between Stroud and Miller.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I mean, I don't know the true freshman. I think he's probably got all the tools, but it's probably just a lot to try and come in here and do much. I think it'll probably be down to Miller and Stroud. Those will be your guys. I'm not sure. I heard one thing that Stroud wasn't throwing that accurate, and then I hear another thing where he's lighting it up. So, I mean, it kind of little rumor millish. I feel coming out of spring practices talking about these quarterbacks. Yeah. I'm sure that's the whole emphasis on this team. I mean, the offense is set up for success. So whoever gets this job is going to be put in a great position to succeed.
Sure.
And I'm sure the coaches are doing their best to figure it out. I'll bet you Ryan Day's got his eyes on that one pretty sharp.
Definitely. From what I hear, and this makes sense to me entirely, I think a decision probably in the middle of fall camp is most likely. Number one, you can't make a decision right now because it's way too early. You can't have 15 practices and then, make that call, most likely. But, and then
you're evaluating 3 guys that have never thrown a pass in college.
Exactly. Yeah. And again, making an early decision enhances the chance that somebody's going to transfer, So I think
one of these 3 for sure will be transferring before their career's up. Maybe even 2 of them.
But you want to push that back as long as possible.
Yeah, and I don't. I don't think you owe it to Miller or Stroud or the new kid To say, hey, we'll do this so you can transfer. You guys have only been here for a year.
Right.
If this was your, going into your junior year or something like that, then I think the coaches owe you a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But being this young, it's like, hey, even if you don't get a kid, you're on the Joe Burrow program. You're going to get the best coaching and facilities in the country. And you know what? You'll transfer out next year. But so to me, I think that's what makes Ohio State a little bit unique, where kids will come to, Miller and Stroud. I mean, it's like, okay, one of us is going to be the guy, and one of us isn't, and we're going to be at the same amount of time. But they're willing to both go and compete. They know they're going to compete at the highest level, and even if they lose that competition, they can go on and be successful. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of other places have that type of vibe.
Right. Yeah, this is a unique situation. Usually you don't bring in two 4-star quarterbacks. CJ kind of a borderline 5-star. So, yeah, this is a very unique position. Jack has been committed, forever. CJ came on a little later, but
but even so, after that, you got a 5-star, and then we got Hooters, another, next coming of Andrew Luck.
Right.
And all these guys still are coming here.
Yeah. Highest rated player Ohio State's ever recruited. That's all. And Quinn Ewers.
That's got to come down at some point. You can't maintain that. You got a whole season of football to play.
I guess. Insane. Yeah, I guess. But so I mean, CJ took most of the snaps last year. The very few that were in garbage time or filling in for Fields when he was injured. So, got to assume he's in the lead. I think it's his to lose. Although he has been loose with the football, they say, in practice and thrown more than his share of picks. I still think he's going to have to really fuck this up to not be the starter week 1. So running back, this one is interesting. I know you have a very strong feeling about some of this depth chart. I'll give you my top 3, and you can agree or disagree. But from what Tony Alford said is right now, Master Teague is the starter week 1. Whether you like hearing that in the spring already, that's debatable.
No, I don't think that. I think he basically said if the season were to start now, then Master Teague would be the guy. But the season ain't starting now, so I don't think that boxed him in the corner for that.
All right, I don't see how things would change that drastically. But I will say I think my other 2 are Mayan Williams, and I'm leaning towards Travion Henderson as my 3 favorites.
I would probably say, I'd probably agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see my boy Steele in there or Crowley. And who's the other freshman?
Pryor. Evan Pryor.
Pryor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think right now it would be Teague and Mayan. And I don't know, maybe this Henderson stuff might just be hype.
Yeah. I think we'll see how he develops, and I know there's a long way between now and week 1, and maybe it turns out that it is a Teague and Crowley, Mayan Williams kind of top 3 as the season starts, but then maybe Henderson gets in and shakes things up in the middle of the year and gets some.
To me, it's just it's so loaded back there. I mean, I don't even know who. I feel like we got 5 backs that could be really badass.
This is where you got to be concerned about transfers, right?
Oh, I think I think you're definitely going to have some kids transfer out of here. At least two.
Like sooner than later.
I feel like if Crowley or I don't know, you hear such good things about that Steele. I just don't know if that kid's going to transfer. He might stick it out and do whatever he has to do. I could see if Crowley doesn't make, isn't like second on the depth chart or something, and isn't getting carries. I could see him bolting pretty quickly. If Mayan Williams drops down and doesn't get carries, because I think he feels like he's earned some carries.
Yeah.
And especially if a Henderson or somebody leapfrogs him.
Yeah, I was somewhat surprised that Chambers is still at running back after the rumors of him switching over to linebacker and some of the.
But Alford shut that down quick. He's like, I don't know where that came from. He goes, it certainly didn't come out of the running back room.
Right.
Like, we're not talking about that at all.
Right.
Again, fake news.
Right.
What source told you that?
I don't have sources.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. But wherever that got leaked out, who said that?
Those would be the Ohio State beat reporters that it speculated. And again, this is where we get into that nebulous kind of area where, I'm hearing things or I was told this, and we don't name names.
Right. I mean, you got to keep your sources confidential, but then your shit has to pan out.
Yeah.
Or
you need to verify it with more than one person, maybe.
Right.
Not just one fucking source. Like one dude told me this. Yeah. That guy's a psychopath, maybe.
Yeah, his buddy was a linebacker. Said, "Oh man, Steele, you should come over here and play linebacker."
Yeah.
Word out of practice is Steele Chambers is a linebacker.
Right.
That type of stuff. Control.
So, all right. So wide receiver room. This is the deepest of the deep. This is like, the diving end of the pool. We got so much to work with here. A couple weird things here is Elijah Gardner and Jalen Harris are still listed on the scholarship grid, but I'm pretty sure Elijah Gardner is not even at the school anymore. Not that he transferred or anything. I think he was just done, like graduated. But anyways, those guys never got any playing time anyway. But so we're looking at quite a hefty room of talent. Cam Babb again went down with another injury. Terrible to hear. Sounds somewhat serious. So it could be another ACL. The fucking guy's had two already. You hate to see that. He came in 2018 class with Olave, so he's a red shirt. He's really running out of time. So you got Olave, you got Garrett Wilson, J-Mo, you got Fleming, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Who else? We
Marvin
got
Harrison Jr.
Right. We got Jaden Ballard, Jake Ballard, Emeka Ibuka, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. So.
Oh yeah, Emeka, is he in?
Yeah, he enrolled early.
Nice.
Yeah. So, so much to choose from here.
I know moved to tight end, but it's just ridiculous.
Right. I don't even know where to start here. I mean, think about it. We got probably three typical receiver spots. We got two wideouts and a slot. Olave taking one of those. Fleming probably backing him up. Jackson Smith and Jigba and J-Mo at another spot. Wilson and Ibuka maybe at the slot. I don't know.
It's insane. Olave and Wilson and whoever else you want. I mean, like I said, whoever comes in at quarterback is being set up for success.
Right. Yeah, these guys are well trained. Brian Hartline's got this room humming, and they're just running through talent. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they run through a 6-man rotation here, man. There is just so much talent.
And I mean, right now, I can tell you, and it's probably more than that, 5 of those guys are going to be playing on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. I can even see J-Mo, flying under the radar and end up being a decent pro.
Right.
He just doesn't get all the accolades.
Well, that's the thing is there aren't enough reps out there. When you got Olave and Wilson, what are you going to pull one of them off the field? Fuck no.
I know. And then I mean, the next round, that Smith and Jiba and Fleming and Ibuka and Gee Scott, these dudes they're all going to play on Sunday too.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how Gee Scott adjusts to the tight end role. We'll kind of bleed into that one. So Gee Scott.
Good luck at linebacker covering.
Yeah. He said that he has a tough time maintaining 215. So he's like, he went to the coaches. He's like, look, I can bulk up and maybe be more of a flex out tight end, not an inline guy like a Luke Farrell, but he's definitely
get him up to 235.
Exactly. Yeah, he's not a 250 guy. Probably don't want him up as big as Luke Farrell or Ruckert, but he can definitely carry 230 plus and hopefully maintain that speed and catch radius. I know a lot of people like to think of when they think of a flexed out tight end, they think of Kyle Pitts from Florida, because he's the latest to really be that guy. But he's fucking 6'6". G Scott's like 6'2", 6'3" at the most. So I hope, because I think there's going to be opportunities for him. This is a very, very thin room, man. That's
probably the thinnest place on an offense. I mean, I think we're good there. Our starter, Ruckert, should be a stud.
Right. You're looking at Stover, Cade Stover. This will be his 3rd year in the program, so he needs to make a move. I realize he made the position change from defense to offense, but it's about time he shows something. He was a hell of a basketball player, too, in the state of Ohio, so hopefully that translates to that position. Ruckert's obviously your go-to guy. Thank God he came back. Otherwise, I don't even know where the fuck we'd turn. You got Joe Royer coming in last year's class. Again, limited in not having a spring, not having a lot of time to get up to speed. So he does have that sweet Bob Ross afro. So respect to that. Not sure what that translates to on the field, but I do appreciate it. And Sam Hart, the true freshman, came in the 21 class. So lot of inexperience there behind Ruckert.
I love the move by Gee Scott. I think it's smart on his part. Said he starved himself to be 215.
Right.
So to get him to 235, I think it's going to be easy, and I think you'll see him contribute.
Yeah, I think so too. Why not? Oh, yeah.
Hello, boys.
Hey, you made it.
Sorry I'm late.
No problem. We were just running through position groups. We're not doing a too deep necessarily. We're just debating, who's in the running for each position. We are through quarterbacks, running backs, and tight ends just now. Leading wide receivers. Oh yeah, and wide receivers. Yeah. Leading into the O-line. So you have any crazy thoughts on quarterback, running back, receiver rooms?
No. No, pretty much everything I'm sure you covered. Stroud probably has the inside track. We really won't know much until fall with McCord. I think as far as how ready he is, they're probably gonna have something in mind. They might not even say it publicly by the end of the spring, but I think the day and the coaching staff will have a good idea of what they're doing. They're gonna want to have. I think they're gonna want to have a guy ready, named starter when fall camp starts. My opinion.
I was thinking mid-fall.
Okay. Man, I think maybe the team will know. I think before we will.
For sure.
Well.
Nah, I'm a joke.
But no, but that's about it.
Because then you can get a transfer. You can really fuck yourself if you do it pre-fall.
Yeah. Yeah, running back room. We basically Sean was all over Steel Chambers' dick as usual. He thinks he should be starting over Master Teague.
That's right.
No, not really.
Well,
we named the top three of Teague, Mayan Williams, and Henderson were my top three.
Yeah, I mean, I heard that both of the freshman running backs are looking great right now. That's health is gonna, sort that out. I think
for sure.
If everyone's healthy, probably Master Teague and Henderson, I think, get the bulk of the load.
This is where I think you have the quickest trigger finger for a transfer.
Sure.
Out of Crowley, maybe Chambers, maybe even Mayan Williams. I mean, he could transfer to a MAC school and play. With the one-time transfer rule.
Yeah, and running at the running back position, you don't have to be from any big school. You don't have to be like a proven quarterback from a big school or nothing like that. Yeah. Running backs, dime a dozen. I mean, if you can run, they don't care where you're from, or he'll get looks.
Yeah. So, and then receiver, Cam Babb, of course, suffered another injury. It sounds like it's relatively serious.
That sucks, man. I feel bad for that kid. Like Johnny Dixon, fought for years, could not stay healthy. A lot of promise from him. Hopefully, I'd like to. Well, I don't think we've never seen him in any meaningful playing time. He's gotten some playing time, but over the years. But that sucked. That sucked. I was upset when I heard that.
Yeah. So we talked about.
Talked about G. Scott getting some work at tight end as well.
Yeah. Add some depth to that room that really needs it. Receivers.
Playmaking ability too.
Right.
All skills like his.
Right. It really depends on what Cade Stover brings to the table, and then you got Joe Royer and Sam Hart. So Cade Stover, this is his third year in the program. So
I heard Ryan Day brought his name up. In one of his press conferences.
Right. So, we need to see something from him, especially if Ruckert, gets dinged or anything like that. We need somebody we can depend on, not just a warm body.
And I think Day likes that 2 tight end set too.
Sure. Yeah.
So I mean, I think he's gonna want, especially if he can get another athlete out there.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not too familiar with Sam Hart. To my knowledge, he's pretty tall, pretty skinny.
That's a safe bet. Same with Royer.
So, but somebody like G. Scott, you could see playing time early.
But he's not going to be an inline blocking type. He's going to be flexed out like a Kyle Pitts. Not that he's 6'6", but he's going to be, off the line. He's not running counters and stuff. So, So let's get into the O-line. Now we got Jeff up to speed. Mm-hmm. So tackles are set in stone, right? I mean, our bookends are obviously Munford coming back and for his 10th year, and NPF at the right tackle. No reason to move those guys around. So our real questions are guards and center.
Not really.
You don't think? I got some real questions at center if you don't.
I think Harry Miller's got that.
Do you think that's in the bag, done and?
Yeah, I do.
Jeff?
I think if he's healthy, yeah, I think he has the job. I don't think he's competing for the center job. I think the guys that they're putting at center right now are just because he's not on the field. They got to have people. But yeah, I think if he's healthy when the season starts, he's our starting center.
I'm hearing a lot of good things about Luke Weipler at center, and I don't need to take you guys back to Michigan State game last year, do I? No, tell me that it was a one-time affair. Yeah,
it's been a while. That was
I told my wife
how many did he throw? How many did he roll back there? Like, holy shit!
Right,
Had to be 8.
Launch over Fields' head.
Yeah. I swear it was like 8 to 10 awful snaps.
Yeah.
Every year it gets to be worse. It'll be 24 next year. But
he played mostly guard, and then they moved him to center. But he came out of high school as a center, if I remember correctly, didn't he?
Yeah.
I thought he came to Ohio State as a center.
Yeah, but he started at guard because that's the natural progression that Ohio State does. You start at guard, get your feet wet, then the next year you move to center. Now, in this case, though, I'm saying Luke Weipler is impressing so much that maybe Harry Miller stays at one of the guard slots. And if injury, he has that shoulder going on right now. If injury, forces their hand, and maybe Harry Miller is held out early, and Luke Weipler is the center. Anyways, on top of that, let me pile on with the left and right guards. I'm going Paris Johnson and Josh Fryer at one, probably left guard, and Matt Jones, Enoch Vamahi. I haven't heard anything about him. I don't know what's going on with him. Ryan Jacoby's another one we haven't heard anything about at the other guard spot. So that's kind of my mix for that middle interior O-line. You guys got any beef with my guards?
Well, I think Paris, definitely. He's going to be. I think he's going to be Mumford's spot next year. Mm-hmm. But it's like, hey, this kid needs to be on the field.
Yeah.
Get him out there. I just think this O-line is going to be nasty.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where Harry Miller will end up and who they'll put at the other guard spot, but with the bookends, and now you're putting Paris Johnson in there. Harry, we're nice there, and that's why we just had what's his name, Max Ray, go in the portal because that's a deep room, and Max Ray's probably a hell of a football player. He just isn't good enough to play here right now.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. This is a far cry from where our O-line was just a few years ago. Really, we have depth stacking on top of depth. Go ahead, Jim.
I definitely agree. Ryan Day keeps talking about they're looking for the best 5. Mm-hmm. Well, the 2 tackles are guaranteed at their spot. So right. the best 3. I say it's healthy. Harry Miller. I say Paris Johnson and Matthew Jones.
Okay.
That's not what does Matt Jones get the center job? And Miller.
I saw Matt. I mean, I've seen Matt Jones be productive on the field. I thought Paris Johnson looked great when I saw him on the field. So I would think that those are our best 5. If health is not an issue, I think that's our starting 5.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'd really like to see Matt Jones get out there as well.
Yeah, I think I was just expecting him right guard, Paris Johnson left guard, Miller center.
He's another third-year guy. Matt Jones is,
and I thought he was productive last year. I thought he looked good when he was in the field. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we didn't see a lot. I mean, obviously nobody saw a lot
Michigan
of anything.
State game, was the one where we really had to reshuffle the O-line, but All right. So I think we're all on the same page there. Like I said, we're not really hammering out a too deep today.
Sure. Those running back positions and stuff, and you can't. We don't even know where they're leaning at quarterback. You can't even begin to speculate who's third.
Right. So let's switch it over to the other side of the ball and D line. We'll start at the ends with you got Tyler Friday, you got Tyreek Smith, you got JJB, Zach Harrison. They're saying that Noah Potter's been working interior lately, so that's interesting. Yeah. You got Jack Sawyer, the incoming freshman.
I heard looking like a fucking man-child.
Right. One thing with Sawyer you got to keep in mind, though, is he didn't play football last year at all. So
right.
I think that's a big deal. I realize that he's probably, bigger and faster than everybody else on the field in his high school. But still, there's something different about training and playing football, in my opinion. Same with Travion Henderson. You could make the same argument.
I say one less year of beating putting on a running back.
Okay, that's fine. So let's
first day of high school. I mean,
and I'm guessing the way Jack looks, I'm guessing that dude was getting more prepared than what his high school senior year could have done.
Yeah.
With COVID and shit, I can it makes more sense. Now I think in a regular school year he wouldn't have just sat out his senior year, just to get ready for college. But with COVID and all this bullshit and the delay on Ohio schools or whatever, he's probably like, screw it. Yeah. Let's go. I already got my trainer. We're gonna do a regiment. Yeah. That dude, he's a beast, man.
He is. So DNs, you got to say Tyreek and Zach are your starters, but then you got quite a.
And they're all going to rotate just like they always do. I mean, so you name six, like those six, we're going to see all six of them probably equal amount of time. Barring injury, barring health, health of course. But all those guys should be in the mix.
Well, I think they've all flashed at times, but I need more productivity out of those guys, frankly.
Oh yeah, definitely agree that we gotta have a.
Is it going to be Tyreek Smith that goes off, or Zach Harrison, or Baptiste, or Friday, or whomever?
Yeah.
Sorry, you want to come in here and be like a Bosa? All right, let's see it, kid.
Yeah. Yeah, interior is pretty strong. Again, not a lot of production, to your point, Sean. You got Antoine Jackson. Check this out. Antoine Jackson was a recruit in the 2016 class. Jesus, seems like a decade ago, man. So you got him coming back for his 20th year. Haskell Garrett, Teron Cage. They say Teron Vincent is the most improved player on the team. Then you got some younger guys. So Teron Vincent seems to be getting a lot of mention by the coaches. So that's good to hear. Finally,
he was a top 10. He was a top 10 at his position coming out of high school in the nation.
Again, another third-year guy in the program.
I think he was like a top 10. I think he was like a top 10 overall player or something.
Yeah,
he was way high rated.
Yeah, he was a high 5-star.
Mm-hmm. That's the name I want to hear. I just hoping that dude really hits.
Yeah.
Hits the scene.
It sounds like he battled some injuries and whatnot. But
Definitely.
I've heard that's just what we need too. Because to me, I'm like, oh man, you're gonna lose Togiai, and all right, now we got Teron Vincent's coming along and getting back to his 5-star self, and you got
Haskell's out. He's out for the spring though. I mean, he's out.
Yeah, but he should be back, and if he produces like he did, I mean, he was lights out last year. And then I like the depth behind him, Cage and Jackson, and I mean those guys can go in there and give you good reps too.
Yeah. You got to grow. Antoine Jackson's a grown ass man. He got kids to feed.
Yeah, that's right.
Literally. So,
Hey, come here, boy.
yeah. Yeah. So,
I might be your daddy, son.
so the D line seems like there's a lot of depth there to me, although some of it's inexperienced. Speaking of inexperienced, this is where we really got things get a little tight. The linebacker crew. We lost 4 linebackers. Not sure if that's a good or a bad thing. So really opens up things for Gant, Mitchell, and Kayvon Pope, the oldest, the 3-year guys that are back. But then you got some guys like Craig Young. You also got some position discussions here. Buckeyes the coaches have been kind of leaking, not really leaking, but hinting at more of a 4-2-5 kind of defense. And one of those, I guess you'd call it the bullet, which has kind of become a joke around Columbus because we haven't really seen it. But so I guess more of a strong side linebacker / safety that comes down in the box. So this is where things kind of get a little tricky, kind of a Darren Lee. So Gant, Mitchell, Pope, and then Craig Young is my guy from day one. You guys remember that. Middle of the road 3-star, top 600 in the country player. This guy is showing flashes, and I think he's going to be that strong side / safety cover guy that can also run support. So looking at the linebackers, say you got 2, I guess, traditional linebackers. What do you guys think? Gant, Mitchell, Pope. Mitchell Melton is out with a serious injury. You got Cody Simon. You got a couple of young guys, but what do you think?
So you think we're going to go from the 4-4 defense we ran against Alabama to a 4-2?
Well, yeah, it didn't work out well.
I don't know. I still think we'll probably play more traditional 3 linebackers against mostly Big Ten opponents.
Yeah, it depends on opponent and down and distance, of course.
Right, but you'll have some teams that, you need to get some practice doing that because you start getting into the postseason and that it's all about throwing the ball all around the field.
Yeah.
And you better learn how to defend it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know though. I'm with you. I think Mitchell and Gant are going to come in and be really good. You left off that what's his name? That Tommy Eichenberg. He got some playing time last year.
He did get a little bit, yeah.
And also, how did he get on the field last year, and why aren't you thinking about him this year?
Well, he had 6 snaps all of last year, Sean.
Okay, well, who had more than him?
Who had more than him? Cody Simon, Kayvon Pope, Craig Young, Gant, Mitchell.
Right. Young had more than him?
What's that?
Young had more?
Yeah, he had 39.
Wow.
But, again, that's why, I know, Sean, you and I got into it offline on a little text exchange of bringing in a transfer linebacker, that Henry Toto from Tennessee. But what if Gant's not ready by week 1 with his foot?
We got guys. Like I said, I'm not for linebacker.
We haven't seen this. We haven't seen this.
Well, then, no. We recruited all these guys. They've all been in the program for a number of years, and shame on us if we don't.
No, it's not shame on us. We got to win games.
It's not gonna. But to me, it isn't even going to be on the players. You can't have all these guys that are all highly rated and they all can't produce. To me, it's coaching. And so if you bring in Toto or whoever, he's good. I don't think that's going to magically solve your problems.
I think it adds experience and depth. He could be
I don't know. I think
a one and done kind of guy.
Fucking group that's been busting their ass together for a few years to bring in this fucking vagabond mercenary. Fuck that.
All right. What if Gant can't play week 1?
Then someone else will. I like 6 guys in that room. Yeah, I don't know. It's all potential. Maybe they're good. Maybe they're not. But fine. Let's figure it out.
Okay.
You're saying let's go with the 6 we have.
Yeah.
All right.
Even though we haven't seen most of them play.
That's the thing. I don't know we have studs. I mean, they were all recruited because they were studs.
Yeah, they're studs in high school.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't know if that translates. Whole different level.
Yeah.
Whole different water.
They're not all going to be duds, man. Those 6 guys are higher, rated athletes than any other team's. Whole defensive squad. So it's ridiculous that they can't perform at a high level if they're coached up right. And Ohio State's supposed to have the best coaches in the land. So they're not all duds, man.
I'm not arguing their talent potential. I'm arguing their lack of experience and not being in position because they hadn't played enough. That's my point. I know that they're all 4 and 5-star guys, except Craig Young's a 3, but it's not about potential. It's about what have you done. That's the issue with these guys.
Well, and you're not going to know until you know. And so you put them out there and you give them a chance to succeed, and they either do or they don't. And if they don't, then you pull them and the next guy goes in there and tries. That's the way it goes. Right. But I don't think you just bring in a guy from the outside.
And you're saying that like team wide or just strictly at that position, Sean? Are you just saying you would not look to transfer?
Strictly at that position. And yes, strictly at that position at this point. But I'd go position by position on any of it. The quarterback was Fields. I think was a great move. I wasn't for what's his name transferring in from Oklahoma. Frankly, I wasn't for that. I turned out to be dead wrong. Obviously, that was huge. But I think there's good times for transfers coming in. That O lineman that we had for Rutgers, I forget.
Jonah Jackson.
Yeah.
He's a starter in the NFL right now.
That was a
left guard.
Yeah, and that was a great move. We were a little light.
Excuse me.
We're a little light on the O-line, and we get this grad transfer that was pretty good. Perfect. I mean, so I thought those fill a need, and I don't think that it'll bust up, a room's camaraderie or something.
Well, okay. You said that the coaches are to blame if these guys aren't ready, right?
Yeah.
What if these guys are being coached? I mean, it depends on how much faith you put in the coaches. But what if they see the need to bring in a transfer because these guys are just not getting the job done in practice?
I just don't believe that because they've all been to Ohio State for 2-3 years. The coaches have been working with them, see them. If they were still fucking bums, they probably wouldn't even be in the program. You're not going to hang on to guys that aren't getting better and aren't working. So if you're not ready in your 3rd year at Ohio State to play linebacker, then and I just don't believe all these guys cannot be. Yeah, there's probably a couple that are in over their heads, I'm sure, but it should still be a solid group.
Okay. All right, so let's move to the secondary. This entire back 7 for Ohio State actually worries me.
It is scary, isn't it? Jeez.
So you got Banks and Cam Brown both out with injuries. Hopefully nothing that bleeds into the season or even fall camp. Sounds like Cam Brown's coming back from the ACL, I believe, and Banks is probably just having
Cam Brown was an Achilles.
Achilles. Fuck, I was worried about that. And then Banks, it sounds like he's just having his knee scoped. So we got and Tyreek Johnson. I might as well just forget about him. He has not shown us anything.
Yeah,
Marcus
what is
Williamson? Yeah, this guy just apparently doesn't give a fuck. But you got to go with Marcus Williamson at the slot, most likely. And obviously outside at the corners, you got Cam Brown and Seven Banks. Behind them is where things get dicey, where we get really young, really fast with guys like Ryan Watts, Legend Cavazos. You even got the freshman Ja'Kalen Johnson, Denzel Burke.
Yeah.
Guys like that with 0 snaps. So
a whole lot of talent and 0 experience.
Tyreek Johnson's coming out this year, boys.
There we go, Sean. There you go. Die on that hill. I would love to see it, Sean. I would really love to see it. That dude he had me hyped up coming out of high school.
Yeah.
This is it. He's going to come in here and just shut down and start laying the wood all over that field.
Yeah. But we never know. Like they're so like a lot of times we don't know about the injuries and stuff. Like what's really going on with these kids. Obviously, just as us being fans, we have no idea what's going on with them. Really, pretty much physically, because they don't have to tell us. Right. And then we are all speculating. Well, why is he not getting the job done? Right. Well, maybe he's just or it could be a head case, and the coaches are just like, you can be on the team, but we don't care about you. You never know.
Right. And then obviously the headliner of the secondary, DeMario McCall. Makes the position switch.
It's worked before. Why not? If he can add depth to a position of need to take advantage of his skills that we weren't going to see in the backfield, let him play it. He might be real physical. You may come and be a running back. He might be a real physical corner.
Adding depth, really. I would not see him in a game that's meaningful. Because he probably doesn't have any technique whatsoever.
You don't know. It might have been his natural position too, all through Little League and junior high. Yeah, right. I'm just saying.
I think you're going to see guys.
I think it's an athlete that we weren't going to use where we had him. Let's put him over here. We might need him over here. Yeah. So why not? Just move your athletes around where you can use them.
I think you see. I'd like to see Cavazos, Cam Martinez, or Ryan Watts before him.
If they're healthy,
yeah,
that's question mark. Health.
Yeah, and with the safeties, you got Proctor. I don't think we're ever going to see Marcus Hooker, barring injury, again.
I think Proctor's an NFL safety.
Okay, he's got to show me more consistency, not just be a headhunter and tackler.
That's what I'm predicting this year, Sean. If we're doing bold predictions in April. Josh Proctor turns himself into an NFL safety this year.
I think you're going to see a coming out party for dude Cam Martinez.
Okay.
Back there at the other safety spot.
I'm not really comfortable doing a whole bunch of bold predictions, dude. It is April.
You open the floodgates.
I'm 1 on that.
I think you go with Proctor and Ransom at the safeties, and
yeah, that sounds right.
You got Court Williams recovering from the ACL. Hopefully, he gets on the field.
Another guy I want to see.
Yeah, another guy that he could play that hybrid bullet position.
Wasn't he a linebacker coming out of there?
Yeah, but he's like 220 right now. So he could play an outside linebacker safety spot. So that's what I got for you guys.
Well, that's gross. That back seven is worrisome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's going to come together, but fuck.
Cam Brown be coming back and being a shutdown corner.
What we just said at linebacker and secondary isn't what it's going to look like.
Yeah. Well, there's the portal. There's been a lot of rumors about Ohio State dipping in the portal for a corner as well.
Now, a corner.
Yeah.
If you're, I'm not totally against if you go out and get a shutdown corner. I wouldn't want to get a journeyman. I mean, he'd have to be something special.
And they're not.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to find in the portal. Elias Ricks is still at LSU. He never entered the portal, as was heavily reported back in December, January. So looks like he won't be leaving. That would have been the guy to go get.
Yeah, if you can get a guy like that, it's for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I think they got to dip into the portal for at least linebacker or corner, if not both.
Get out of here with that linebacker nonsense.
So Joe's in favor, Stone's not in favor? Linebacker transfers?
That's the way it looks. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just trying to win games.
Let's see. Well, all that matters is how confident the coaches are. I think it'll be telling.
Coach these kids every year. You do it to win games. You got to do it with you guys. It's not, it's getting too fucking mercenary. And I'm gonna buy myself a fucking. No, you bring in the kids you like, you think you're gonna win with, and that's your kids.
Well, wait till they officially pass the 1-year transfer rule, which is going to happen in a couple months. So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of moving around.
There already is a ton. I mean,
yeah, there is.
Is that even? Do they even have to make that official? Because everyone's doing that anyway. Everyone is transferring whenever they want right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what's the difference?
It's just going to be officially right. Official.
For exactly what we've been doing, and we're gonna put a rubber stamp on it.
They should name it after Tate, the Tate Martell rule. That'd be cool. But all right, guys, that's all I got for you. You want to get together again next week, like before the spring game, or you want to wait until after?
Oh, you tell me. I'm usually around.
All right. Well, let's wait until after, and we can do kind of a assessment of who flashes and who we see on the field, who we don't see on the field, all the above. How's that sound?
Yeah, so that's good. Let's see who plays, and
all right.
I wonder. Yeah.
Maybe we can get into a little.
The quarterback.
Yeah, we'll get into a little. Maybe looking forward at the schedule for this season. Pencil in our 12 W's.
Yeah, well, Michigan probably won't play us again next year, so we're gonna keep her shut. We're gonna keep her shut down for a little while longer up here.
They could just give us the W ahead of time. Why go through the pain of not showing up? But all right, folks, we appreciate you joining us. Don't forget, hit the supply store. Find us all over the social medias, and we will talk to you soon. Jeff, Sean, thank you. We'll see you.
Yep.
Later.